Commissioner Farrow.
Here.
And Commissioner Roach is present. We have a quorum. At this time, please observe a moment of silence for retired police officer Victor Diaz, who passed away on October 26th of this year. Thank you. Regarding minutes, we have the regular board meeting of October 18th, a special board meeting from October 13th, I'm sorry, 17th, and there was also a special board meeting from November 1st. I'll entertain a motion to combine and accept those minutes unless somebody has a question.
No. So
I'm sorry.
moved.
Oh, it's-
I said, no,
it's-
so moved.
Okay, it's been moved
Second.
to combine
Second.
and accept and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. I don't believe the chief is with us. Is that correct, Lieutenant?
That is
Aye.
correct, sir.
We're not expecting the chief this evening. We have nobody from the union. Internal Affairs quarterly report is not due this evening. And the clerk's report on the status of pending matters. I don't believe you have anything for us, Lieutenant, but I did want to mention December 1st, we have a meeting scheduled. It might be conflictive, and if it is, we may be not canceling, but moving it from 6 p.m. to possibly 6:30, worst case scenario 7. So unless you have anything else, Lieutenant, regarding the clerk's report, we'll move on to new business.
No, sir, I don't have anything. No.
Okay. And this is a request from Lieutenant Cotto for review and approval, update of department policies, starting with 2.09, which is uniform standards and dress code. Would you like to go through one at a time, and provided the board is comfortable, we can vote on them all as a unit?
Sure.
I believe the first one, the change has to do with head coverings.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So all of these changes are based on changes of the law, new legislative laws that came into play, I believe, October 1st. So I did highlight the changes. And like Commissioner Roach said, it has to do with religious headgear, allowing the officers to wear a headdress as long as it doesn't conflict with the uniform, meaning that if they had to put on a helmet or put on their police hat, it wouldn't conflict with that. That's the 2.9 uniform standards. Just gonna keep going.
I would say keep going, and commissioners, feel free to interrupt if you have a question on a specific item.
Yes, please. 8.17 is the periodic mental health assessment. This has to do with the allowing for some reason my copies aren't highlighted, so just bear with me. You know what, I can go from the paper files. I know it by heart anyway. It's allowing the clinical psychologist an opportunity to also review the officers. In the past, it was only the board certified psychologist or psychiatrist. This is giving authority to the licensed clinical therapists to do these periodic mental health assessments. This is a bonus for the police department because we just hired a bunch of, I think it was 1 or 2 we just hired with the social workers So this should put an ease on our budget if the chief is going to entertain allowing them to do our mental health assessments.
So the assessments are currently done according to the procedure rules by a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and this will allow a licensed social worker to do the same.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, that's correct. So the next one is 5.06. It's the mentally ill and homeless individuals. And on the last page of that one, it's highlighted, it's mandating training. It says all officers shall receive training regarding interactions with persons who have mental or physical disabilities, as well as persons who are deaf, hard of hearing, or deaf-blind as part of their basic training. So I actually was speaking about this with the chief today. This is going, they don't mandate how or how much we train, which gives the authority to our training division to come up with some type of curriculum to make sure that we cover these areas. And then the last one is traffic enforcement. And I believe the change is also on the last page. And it also has to do with training. And we're going to train our officers related to traffic incident management during their basic training. So this will put some stipulations on the basic training for police officers, as well as officers going through their periodic review training. Other than that, there are no other changes. If anyone has any questions?
Any questions from the commissioners?
I was just curious, training is provided in every shift randomly, or
This is basic training. This is part of the original training, though, isn't that right, Lieutenant?
So this is gonna, it's both. It's gonna
Okay.
train the recruits, what Commissioner Rhodes referred to as basic training, as well as the seasoned officers. So as they come up further, there are certain areas that we train annually on, and we train triannually on. So the training division will have to come up with a curriculum to make sure that they're able to work it in for both the new recruits as well as the veterans in the department.
okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, and the policy, so should the verbiage be reflect that? Because if you're saying training and it's going to be done for new recruits, but also existing officers, like is there not a term for service training?
No, it's just, so the language actually says, are you referring to the traffic or the periodic mental health? Sorry, you're muted. We all muted?
No,
No.
it's me. I was trying to pull up the one that I was looking at. Sorry.
So if you look at number one, basic training is for the new recruits. If you look at number two, it's part of the review training program. These are for the officers that are already trained.
So in question, relative to that, Lieutenant, officers are made aware that the policies are revised or modified whenever it's implemented? Do they get
So-
a copy of this?
So I'll backtrack a little bit. At the beginning of this, I guess we can call it a program. When I first started a couple years ago, I told you guys that we have a digital platform. And every time a new policy comes out, officers are required to sign digitally that they receive and understand the policy. So, for example, when these policies get approved tonight, I'll go back tomorrow, I'll put the final touches on them with like the dates that they're implemented, and I'll put them through the cycle again through Power DMS. So the officers will get an alert on their phone that they have a new policy, and they'll be required to read and endorse those policies. If they don't sign them within a reasonable amount of time, that triggers a notification from me stating that you have policies that are outstanding and you're required to sign for your policies.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Lieutenant Cotto, I was referring to the mental health one.
So the mental health policy is 10% of our department every year, which is mandated through post. This just gives the licensed clinicians authority to actually do the assessments. And like I said, it'll probably put an ease on our budget because they are very expensive.
Anybody else?
Sorry, I stand corrected, 20% each year of our department. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Would entertain a motion to approve the updates on the department policies as explained by Lieutenant Cotto.
I'll move.
It's been
Second.
moved by Commissioner Cruz and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. It's approved unanimously. We have nothing under old business, no correspondence to share or letters of appreciation. Officer Victor Diaz has passed away. There's no widow pension involved with that.
I'm still waiting for the paperwork to come
You're
back.
still waiting for the paperwork on that? Okay. We'll have to do that at our next regular meeting then. Okay, moving on to requests from the city traffic engineer. We have items under 9A. The city traffic engineer is requesting we approve an installation of a crosswalk with warning signs at Noble Avenue and Ogden Street. According to the city traffic engineer, it's an existing ADA corner, and there's foot traffic enough to warrant the new signs. The second item is installation of a passenger loading zone at 1179-1193 Main Street. I think this is the site of the there's an adult daycare center there. I believe it's called Palace Daycare Center downtown, just on Main Street, just running north from the corner of Golden Hill. And they're looking for a passenger loading zone. They have a couple of vans that provide transportation to seniors, and the city traffic engineer has signed off on it. It would be right near the or abutting the bus stop there. And the third was installation of always stop sign at Ruth Street and Ardmore Street. The city traffic engineer is recommending us to approve this, mostly based on not so much the amount of traffic, but the site issues with a couple of the neighbors have high hedges on the corner and that sort of thing. So does anybody have any questions or comments on those three items?
No.
Okay, entertain a motion to combine the items under 9A and approve those items.
I have a question.
Okay, well, we can make a motion and then have a question on the motion if you like. We're already at.
No, it's a question on the request.
That
I
would
just couldn't
be,
get to my, yeah, for the traffic asking for the one on Main Street.
okay, go right ahead then.
Now that's on the corner of Golden Hill and Main Street. Where are they seeking to put that loading?
In front of in front of the business that is called, I believe, Palace Adult
Right.
Daycare.
Right, I agree. Okay, so it's going to be right on Main Street.
It would
and
be right, yeah, it would be right in front, yes.
Okay, because that is, I mean, that takes up like not even half, but it goes to a quarter of that block.
Okay,
So that's what my question is, because the only place I see a stops, like a sign or a pole, is at like maybe 50 feet from the corner, which will may cause a problem from the corner. But if they put it like midway, it wouldn't be a problem because it's back far enough. Because I'm just thinking about it being because of the courthouse and people would need parking.
mm-hmm,
And so that's going to take away from the courthouse. And then, and then I'm not just saying it may cause problems for ticketing and all that stuff and extra work for, the traffic department. So we have to, look at that. And then if you look on there, there's some other block offs for parking on that side right there where it is on Main Street.
mm-hmm. Are you concerned of the lack of parking in that area or
That's what I'm concerned with because there's already an issue when you go to court. There's no parking.
mhm.
And if you use that only for employee, loading, that's gonna,
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
some more. And then if you go back down, there's a block off. Well, there's a fire hydrant, and then if you across the street, I can't see what that sign says.
Right. Okay.
That's my only concern with that one.
All right. One thing I overall, and I know the courthouse is, of course, has been open for business, but overall, since COVID and after the reopening, parking in downtown hasn't been nearly the issue that it had been in the past with more and more folks working from home. So just, that's just something to bear in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And we are talking about these are folks with disabilities, and I would imagine the request came in because they're having issues there.
Right, but it's not on when you say loading and unloading, it's not just for the vans. It would be if they have to receive things that are coming in.
Oh
that
no, I
ordering
think
supplies.
it's strictly for passenger. It's strictly a passenger loading zone. So I would imagine that we're talking about folks with disabilities or seniors that probably would need to park close to the entrance. But again, whatever is the board's pleasure. If we'd like to, if we want to separate these items and vote on them individually, that's fine too. I would, I believe it was, I don't know if it was Commissioner Cruz or Commissioner Lyons that made a motion to combine these items. I would ask whoever made that motion to withdraw if we want to do these individually. Does anybody have an opinion?
No, it's okay. You can withdraw the motion.
Okay, there's a motion withdrawn. We'll do these individually. The first item, installation of crosswalk with warning zones. Does anybody care to make a motion?
So move.
A motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. That item is approved. Next item is the installation of a passenger loading zone at 1179-1193 Main Street. Is there a motion on this item?
Can I make a motion to get clarity on this one and table it?
There's a motion to table this item. Is there a second?
Second.
Motions are made and seconded to table this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The item is tabled. Next item is the installation of all-way stop sign at Roost Street and Ardmore Street. Does anybody care to make a motion on this request?
So moved.
Motion's been made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Been made and seconded, I think, by the same person. I think, Tom, you seconded it also, your
Oh, I
motion.
thought I
Anyway,
heard somebody else.
That's okay, I'm sorry. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Okay, and that's been approved. All right, moving on to 9B. First is request installation of speed humps on Glenwood Avenue. And the city attorney is requesting that we not approve the request for speed humps on Glenwood Avenue. And there was some paperwork that was put with it, and it's his opinion the traffic doesn't, the traffic situation does not merit these speed humps. Anybody have any comments? Does anybody care to make a motion?
Move.
There's been a motion on the floor that we approve the request of the city traffic engineer, which is not to approve this item. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Okay. And the motion has passed, and motion to deny the installation of speed humps has passed, excuse me. On the second, the installation of crosswalk repainting at East Main Street and Essex Street. The city traffic engineer has noted that this is East Main Street is a state road and therefore under state jurisdiction. Actually, there's no action necessary, but I would entertain a motion to refer this to the State Department of Transportation.
So
If somebody would like to make that motion. Motion's been made by Commissioner Farrow. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, there's a motion to refer this to the state DOT. Lieutenant Cotto, if you could forward that request, we'd appreciate it.
Commissioner Rhodes, can I ask a question?
Please.
I mean, I know it's East Main Street, and it's technically, I think, is it Post 1 or Route 1? Post Road?
No, East Main it's a 3-digit number. I forget it off the top of my head, but
That's what I'm saying. My recommendation would be that, when they're saying that, to put that there in parentheses. So, I mean, I know it's a state road, and I can't remember what it is. When you're saying, it's state jurisdiction, most people may or may not know, like North Avenue and, all those.
yeah, no, any state road.
Yeah.
When it comes to painting or or traffic lights or anything, traffic related,
Mm-hmm.
we usually have to either forward that request or we don't consider it because it's not something under our jurisdiction.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. We have an addendum under new business, which is a request from Attorney John Bohannon to present the board with the appointment letter of the Chief of Police of Rod Porter. I haven't seen Attorney Bohannon. Lieutenant, were you expecting him on the call or?
No, I think he was just submitting the letter to the board and he
Okay.
just wanted it on the agenda.
Okay. Did everybody see the addendum? And it's actually a couple of letters that were attached. One is the appointment of Rod Porter to the chief of police. A letter to Rebecca Garcia regarding resumption of duties and responsibilities of the position of assistant chief. And I think she has, as the board probably knows, she has indicated her desire to retire as opposed to going back to assistant chief. But anyhow, so the board acknowledges receipt. Unless there's anything else, any other business?
Yes, I'd like to welcome Linda that I see on the screen. I don't know who that is.
Oh, hi, I'm a
Hi.
new member of the Office of Labor Relations.
Oh, hi, Linda.
Oh, hello,
Nice
Linda.
to meet you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were in the department or, well, good luck. Good luck in labor relations.
Thank you.
Sure, you'll have plenty to do.
Yes,
And is there
We
anything else?
welcome you to our future meetings.
thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question regarding item 9A, number 2, the matter that has been tabled.
Yes.
Do you guys want me to invite the traffic engineer to the next meeting, or what would you like me to do?
Commissioner Williams, what do you think? Your mic is shut off again.
Yes, I would.
There you go.
He was, excuse me, willing to join us at our meeting, so
Right.
I would say yes. I do see it, but because it's it says something about an existing bus stop.
Mhm.
And then a passenger, the request. So I'm not,
Okay.
sure what that is. And I get it that yes, they need to have passenger, something there, but if he can just explain that a little bit for me for clarity.
Sure, no problem. I'm actually looking at the maps.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were as well too.
Yes.
And I can explain to you that from the corner where the
Mm-hmm.
house is, if I'm going north, which is
Okay.
towards the police department, it looks
Okay.
like there's no parking for I want to say maybe about 100 feet.
Right. That's what I wasn't.
Where
Yeah.
the old New England uniforms were placed. And within those 100 feet is where the Palace Disability Daycare is. So
Correct.
that's where they want to have their it looks like they want to change this because there's a no parking sign here. Looks like they want to change it from no parking to loading and unloading passenger zone.
Okay. That's what I was. Yes. That's what I.
But I'm not the traffic engineer. I was just kind of
That's why I was. That's why that's why I was saying about the parking.
Are you okay with it now, Terry, or
If
you
that's
want to
what-
wait?
if
You
that's
want to
what-
wait until, it's up to you. You can wait till
Right.
next
If
month.
that's what I was trying to figure out, because there's a no parking and then they're requesting. So are they replacing that no parking with the passenger loading or whatever?
Yeah.
I think the passenger loading and unloading is going to go from the Golden Hill
Mm-hmm.
corner
Yes.
within that first no parking sign. So they're gonna kind of change like the zoning area from a no parking to a passenger loading and unloading to help the disability center.
Okay.
But I'll invite Paul for the next meeting. He's more than.
Well, and it depends, Terry, if you're okay with it, you want to move it along now, that's fine too. If you want to wait till next month, when Powell's here, but
No,
that's-
I'm okay with that. That's what the confusion was. I
you're
didn't
okay
know
with it? You're okay
if
with it
that's where it's
now?
gonna go.
Okay.
Switching the
Uh,
no parking to that passenger. I'm okay with that.
Okay. I mean, we can
I can-
go
I'll make
back
a
to that motion, even though it's tabled, I think.
I'll
And Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, we can, I know, we usually, we can reconsider
can
items that have
rescind
been
it.
voted on the subsequent meeting, which is next month. But since this is tabled, I'm assuming we can, if you withdraw your motion to table, we can act on it now. It's up to you, Commissioner Williams, or, however you want to do it.
At this point, I mean, we've already voted on it, but I think if we want to, vote to reconsider our previous vote,
Correct.
withdrawing it,
Right.
we
I
can do that.
will. I make a motion to withdraw. Let me find what it was. The 9.
It wasn't denial, it was a
No,
table.
9. I
Oh,
was
I'm
trying-
sorry, 9A,
Right. That's what I was trying to
Okay.
get. Yeah, the
All right.
9A. I was looking it up. So I make a motion to withdraw my previous motion to table the 9AB and make a motion to approve.
There's a motion to withdraw the table and move to approve.
It's really 9A2.
9A Roman, okay, 9A2, excuse me. I think we all know what it's about. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, it's been approved. Unless there's any other business, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's motion to adjourn has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor of adjournment signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Looks like Ed's opposed. We'll hang out for a little while if you want, Ed.